From the heart of the city, straight to your radio. Honest, intimate, real. This is where love gets real and real gets deep. It's not just talk, it's the Love Talk Show. Are you ready? Then let's dive in right now.
A very good evening to all of you. The Love Talk Show is again on air, and as we do every single day, we are here to talk about love life. We are going to bring another topic that we believe that can help couples and sometimes even singles who are struggling with some question marks in their minds, and they do not know what the next step can be. With me, as always, my wife is here next to me. Good evening.
Hello everyone. Always a pleasure being here with you. Today we are going to talk about one more interesting topic that is, it's not enough to love. You need to know how to connect. Sometimes we take things for granted and we really love. The person really has a sincere type of love. She wants to improve, or the person wants to improve, him or her, but they disregard connection, and that's a very important one for us to cultivate, to keep on investing on.
So that's the big question today. It's not enough to love. You need to know how to connect. So are you connected to someone? Do you know how to connect to that person? Singles, do you have an answer to this question? In today's Love Talk Show, we are going to talk about this topic, and I would like to start with this report that is going to share with you a few of things that are happening when a person lacks connection.
Welcome to another Intelligent Love here on the Love Talk Show. As we step into January 2026, many of you are most likely surrounded by the remnants of the holiday season. The shiny gift wrap, the new jewelry, and the memories of the New Year's Eve toast. But for many couples, once the decorations come down, the old shadows creep back in. Today we are exploring a vital truth. It's not enough to love. You must know how to connect. We often see couples who try to buy their way out of this crisis. Perhaps the marriage has been rocky all through 2025, so they use the holiday season as a band-aid. They buy expensive gifts, book luxury trips, or exchange beautiful, scripted vows at the New Year's Eve party. They are over the moon for a few days, fueled by the temporary high of a present or a fancy dinner. But because the underlying habits haven't changed, the lack of empathy, the poor communication, the hidden secrets, they quickly slide back to a square zero. Think of love as the water in a reservoir, but connection as the bridge that allows you to reach the other side. Without that bridge, the love sits there, silent and stagnant. You can buy the most expensive bridge material in the world, but if you don't actually build the structure through intentional effort and shared values, you are still standing on opposite sides of the shore. We see this often in high-profile cases where gift-giving is used to mask a lack of fidelity and integrity. Throughout 2025, we saw headlines about public figures trying to reconquer their spouses with multi-million-dollar diamonds or with grand public gestures following scandals. But as we've seen, the glitz of a diamond cannot fix a heart that doesn't feel understood or a trust that has been shattered. Without an emotional bridge, the gift is just an object. The statistics on this holiday band-aid effect are pretty telling. According to the data frequently cited by LawWits and National Law Review, January is consistently dubbed Divorce Month. In fact, legal experts note a nearly 30% spike in divorce filings during the first 2 weeks of January. This is mainly because couples realize that Christmas truce and the exchange of gifts didn't actually solve the deep-seated disconnect. Furthermore, a study by Bradley University on maritalistic compensation in relationships suggests that couples who prioritize gift giving over emotional problem solving are twice as likely to report lower relationship satisfaction and higher rates of separation. As we begin 2026, we would like to ask you, are you trying to buy a new beginning with the old heart? Are those gifts you exchange just a way to avoid the difficult conversations that actually build a bridge? And if you stripped away the presents and the holiday excitement, what would be left of your connection? On today's show, we will teach you how to stop using gifts as a cover-up and start building a real, empathetic connection that lasts long after the holiday season. Don't let your love remain silent. Stay tuned.
This is the Love Talk Show on Liberty Radio.
And when usually we speak about love, there's a great inclination for people to think about emotions, to think about feelings. When we talk about love, people immediately, not all, but a big part, the majority of people think and they connect love to emotions and feelings. And feeling is only a feeling that comes and can go. Otherwise, when you have, or in order for you to have a connection, you need to, you need to practice it. You need to see what is necessary for that connection to be done, because you can have the tools, you can have everything available in your hands, but if you are not practicing it, if you are not investing on it, so you end up having everything that you need, but because there's no connection, the thing will grow cold, and unavoidably you will lose whatever you have, or you will never get what you are looking for. So that's why we say it's not enough to love. It means no matter how old you are or what the situation in your life is, if you are married, if you are single, if you are dating someone, if you are living with someone, feeling something or attracted by someone doesn't mean that this relationship will endure. And in order to endure, as I was saying, we need to learn how to bring this connection between husband and wife, between two people who they feel they have already a kind of, something is sparking, there's something there, but in order for this to progress and to go until the end, it's necessary to practice connection.
I was even thinking about that because, like I was mentioning in the beginning of the program today, while we were introducing ourselves, I was thinking that sometimes we take things for granted. For example, we used to connect so much and in a very intense way while we were dating. Usually people do this while we date, because as we always say, the butterflies and everything is really exciting in the sense of being together, a phone call, like sensations are all over the place while we are dating. And that's a very nice thing. That's a very good thing. It's part of the stage, dating stage. But afterwards, when we get married, we start to get to know each other, no more butterflies around, and we start we start investing in a deeper connection, because we are building the foundations of that relationship, and it's normal, nothing wrong about that. That's when love starts being built. That's when we start getting to know each other, and we love what we see, including the flaws. Well, usually we don't like the flaws, but that's the sacrifice. That's the part of I sacrifice for yourself, and I develop I develop patience. When I see your flaws, you develop patience. Well, that's the way it's supposed to be. Self-control, and we start loving each other regardless of the flaws and the mistakes. But some people take
strengthening the connection.
Yeah, that's what strengthens the connection, because I love you, doesn't matter your flaws or your mistakes, because we are going to work on each other together, not pointing fingers, not practicing the blaming game, but growing with each other. That's the way it's supposed to be. But like I was mentioning, some people, they take the relationship for granted, and they stop doing the same things that they usually did while they were dating. Examples, going out by themselves, having the coffee, having time to build up this connection by talking, by communicating. So taking this relationship for granted, for example, is sitting on the couch, and even if the person is there by your side, you're just on the phone, focusing on the television. Nothing wrong in watching a movie together, but embrace the partner while you are together, letting them know that you are there for each other and you are enjoying time together, not one doing one thing and the other doing a different thing. And also, I was thinking about the replacement when people are married for a while and they have children. So children are there, and so this happens more with mothers. They start having more connection with children or other family members than with their spouses, with their husband. And other person replaces the husband, the wife. And that's not fair, because the connection, the love is there. That's what we are talking about here. They still love each other, but they don't show it through actions the same way as they did while they were dating or engaged.
Well, let's hear our report, or better, the interviews that our reporter has done outside and asking what people think about this subject.
Straight from the people, straight to you. The word on the street.
How often do relationships struggle, not because love is missing, but because connection is?
I think it can be a lot, especially if people initially start a relationship with appearances and not actually focused on getting to know the person. They might miss that factor of building a connection or finding that compatibility, and just focus on, oh, this person is my type because they look how I'm looking for. So I think it happens quite a lot. I think for people to feel seen and valued in a relationship, it takes a lot of communication, but beyond communication, it takes a lot of action, because you'll get things wrong in relationships that might make the person feel dismissed, but you have to work on it and actually do what you need to do in order to make that person feel like they're being heard in the relationship.
A relationship do get a problem because they don't communicate, they don't understand each other, or they can get problem because they don't have patience with each other. They don't forgive. They don't have the mind to forgive each other. You see, and they don't share their feelings between themselves. They bear everything in mind. They keep grudges. They entertain doubt. They entertain confusion. They entertain all sorts of problems. They don't, though they go to church or anything, they don't put it in practice. Their marriage is a mess. They need to have trust and belief between themselves. They need to trust each other in what they do. In a couple, they're supposed to trust each other. When there is no trust, when there is no believing in one another, there is no relationship. The feeling is no longer important because they don't trust each other. They don't feel like talking to each other. They become enemy to each other. Even if they're smiling in their face, but within their hearts, they're not smiling. They keep grudges, they keep malice, they keep envy, they keep everything. It leads to separation, divorce, or something like that.
Because of no fellowship, they feel stress, loneliness, emptiness. And of course, without God, we are empty. Yeah, we feel sad and empty and lonely. Good fellowship, and 2 hands are better than one. So 2 heads are better than one. So you have 2 different opinions. You can encourage, you can help each other, you can progress in life, because 2 are better than 1. They're seeking help and praying. If they are Christians, they pray, God will lead them, but they need to seek help. So we need to seek help.
I believe that love is depending on the connection that you build with somebody. So the more that you're connected, the more that you communicate with the person, the more that you're with that person, that's what builds the love. So sometimes we forget that love isn't just the feeling, but it's also that constant communication with that person and connecting with them in all sorts of ways, trying to get to know them, trying to build a relationship with them, even outside the setting of what you think you already know. I believe it goes more into like your personal view of yourself and understanding what you also have had to bring, or what you have to bring to the table as well, knowing your value above the feeling of being loved by somebody else. Like you should already, of course, before getting a relationship, should love yourself and know your value, know your worth, know your qualities as much. Of course, you have things that you need to improve on, but you should know that before getting into a relationship. So I think loving yourself and loving somebody else stems from that already. It stems from the love that you have from within. The same way that like you can disconnect, you can reconnect again. Like you can come back to like where things started maybe, or like do things a bit differently, approach things differently, talk it out, communicating what went wrong perhaps, and building on that as a way to rebuild that connection, eventually to fall back in love with that person and continue on.
This is the Love Talk Show on Liberty Radio.
And love, it's not enough. It needs connection. And those who were interviewed, they shared the same opinion. And although they were expressing it in different ways, but when we talk about connection, we are talking about not only physical presence, not only being inside of the house, as Andrea was saying, but being emotionally connected. And emotionally connected doesn't mean that you have to cry with this person. It doesn't mean that you have to be smiling with this person. It means that you have to be there. Is there a need of talking? There is a need of clarifying anything? Just do it. Do it in a positive way, obviously. Communication, it's a very... communication is something that has a very crucial role in a relationship. And obviously, for you to have connection with each other, for you to understand each other, communication is vital. You see, Andre, that one of the things that is compromised when a couple starts having problems is their communication, the way that they are talking to each other, the way they are addressing the situations together. This connection, a part of many, they think it's something that is intentional. You want to work on this. You want to have this connection. It's not something as magically, many think magically will happen, and by magic will come, and we are going to be synchronized and connected, and everything is going to be wonderfully, and it will happy for the rest of our lives. No, the connection must be intentional. The connection, to fix the mistake, to be there, to do the right thing, to not to commit the same mistake, to learn with the mistakes that were committed before. So communication needs to be there, the effort to do it, because at the end of the day, these are the things that are bringing or are making the connection and strengthening the love that we are talking so much. So Andrea, I think it's pretty clear, even when the person is single, in order for them to know who the person is, the communication, the connection needs to be there, because otherwise they will get married with a stranger.
And it's very important what you are just mentioning, because, for example, I was even thinking while you were talking, before in the dating period, it was amazing to hear the person's voice and to hear what the person had to share, everything that the person was going through. But afterwards, sometimes the couple take that for granted, and communication is not there anymore because there's no patience. Now the person is very emotional just to be sharing, or the other one is very harsh because he's correcting or saying something in order to help in a practical way. So we have to understand this. It's something, like you said, that needs to be intentional. For example, there are things that make me feel connected to my husband. Simple things like going out to have a coffee. It doesn't need to be a very expensive coffee. It doesn't need to have a cake or a sandwich. Something simple, just being asked, let's go out and have a coffee, it makes one happy. For example, with my husband, I believe, by what we have been knowing from each other throughout these years that we have been married, is being next to him, being by his side. Even when he's working, he's there minding his business, let's say it, but just by the fact that I am there close to him. And then, yes, maybe after a few minutes or a couple of hours, we have a coffee together. So it depends on the person. So it's important for you to get to know your partner and understand what makes him or her feel connected to you.
So for you to have this connection, it needs to be intentional. You have to invest on it. You have to work on it. You have to, sometimes for you to have that love and that connection, you have to go against your feelings, and then you will be able to build what you are looking for. And this is the several examples that we have been sharing here in the Love Talk Show. Well, we are going to listen to this song, and then we are coming back with the Dear Love Talk Show.
Even before you saved my life, you saw every teardrop that I cried. Through all of my days and nights, you never left my side. Even when I felt far away, your love, it always stayed the same. Even through all this time, you never left my side. I'm talking about a friend who never leaves, who's always got my back when I fall to my knees, who took all of my shame and he called me by name. Oh Lord, I'll never leave your side. Now that we met, it's history. You set me free, I'm free indeed. What could I ever need when you're always by my side? I'm talking about a friend who never leaves, who's always got my back when I fall to my knees, who took all of my shame and he called me by name. Oh Lord, I'll never leave your side.
This is the Love Talk Show on Liberty Radio. Real stories, real dilemmas, real solutions. Only on the Dear Love Talk Show.
How can I feel more confident when dating and stop comparing myself to others?
And if you want, you can also send us a question for love@uckg.org, as this listener has done it, Andrea.
And it's a very interesting question. How can I feel more confident when dating and stop comparing myself to others? But for me, well, our listener doesn't explain in depth how long she or he has been dating for, but it's pretty clear that it's insecurity from the person that is asking this question, more in regards to her own self or himself than the dating or the situation or the person that they're dating with. So I believe it needs more investment in your inner self, working to overcome this insecurity, because we talk about being more confident and comparing. So two key words that shows that there's an insecurity that you need to overcome. We're not saying that, oh, let's stop dating because I need to invest on myself. But for example, we are going to talk about the love therapy, and that's a very good hint if you want to start participating, because that's one of the things that we speak the most. And when we invite people, we'll tell them it is for us to work on ourselves in order for the relationship to work afterwards.
So invest in yourself, take care of yourself, overcome these insecurities, whatever is forcing you to compare yourself or compare your relationship with others, being able to look to what you really have and what can be done in order to solve this problem. And the day that you do this, whatever you are asking here, you will understand, you will be prepared, and you will be moving forward.
I never thought I'll be in a position where my life would be at risk. And that happened when I was stabbed and close to death. At the age of 18, that is when I started to realize that my life wasn't as I thought it would be. Growing up, it was okay. I had both my parents, my mum and my dad. However, at the age of 18, that is when I started to see cracks in myself and in their relationship. So now I had the maturity to understand that my dad was very, with his words, he was very harsh to myself, to my siblings, to my mum. This led me to drink because he was an alcoholic. He would, every Friday after work, he would go to the pub and drink with his friends, and he would come back the next day very late. And I didn't know what type of dad I would see. Sometimes he'll be angry, sometimes he'll be emotional, sometimes he'll just go straight to his bed. So I was someone that started to become like my dad. Like the saying goes, like father, like son. I would go to clubs, I would drink non-stop till I would pass out. I got kicked out of clubs even, almost being arrested because of the alcohol abuse. I just wanted to be like him and please him. And this led me to, mingling with the wrong crowds, sleeping around with women. I started drinking from 18. This became a big problem for me, especially with my finances. Alcohol was very expensive and I didn't care about my bank account. I would just spend. The way I felt when I was younger, I had a void inside of me. I was very lost. I just wanted to feel. I could see that I was becoming like my dad. There was a cycle that was happening and I hated my life. Everything came crumbling down at the age of 19 when I was stabbed. I didn't think I would ever get stabbed in my life. I didn't start the problem. However, with the people I started to move around with, these things were very common. I almost got stabbed before, and I became very proud because I thought no one could touch me. But then the pride and the friends, another occasion happened where there was a fight, there was a scuffle, and unfortunately that's when I was stabbed in the thigh. I was rushed to hospital and I was nearly on the brink of death, and I still didn't learn from that point. I let my parents down, I brought trouble to the house, I started to become a problem to my family. I was able to recover, I went to university, and because I was at uni, I was away from my family, I started to indulge more in alcohol. That's when I started to abuse drugs because I thought I'm not getting enough from the alcohol. I said, let me move on to bigger drugs. So I started to do cocaine. That would lift me up and then it would bring me back down. I started to move around with people that sold drugs. So it gave me the accessibility to smoke weed so that I would be able to not feel anything. And that also led me to fail my first year in university, and I let my father down again. So there was a constant cycle of me letting people down. And it just got to a point where I just had enough of my life. And I stopped trying my studies. I did pass my university, but then my prospects wasn't good after university. I continued this all the way to the age of 23. I didn't have suicidal thoughts, but I didn't really fight for my life. I had ambitions, I had dreams, but I didn't think they were attainable because of my life, the way it was. I wasn't successful in anything. I was okay at everything, but not successful at anything. And that made me used to feel very down and depressed. This cycle would continue where I would drink alcohol. We went to a friend's party at the time, and I was drunk as usual. I was even drunk before people came. And then it got to a point where good friends of mine, Keen and Daniel, they attended the party as well, but I could sense that they were different. I was drinking, I invited them to drink, and they said no.
At this point, I was already attending a universal church and I was seeing changes happening in my life, but I was still very much close with the friends that I had before attending. And it was one of our closest friends' birthday party, and he said to us, look, you guys, you must be here for my birthday party. So we didn't really want to go, but of course we didn't want to seem as if we were mightier than them. So we went. And we made an agreement, me and the other friend that was attending the church. We said, look, we're not going to drink, we're not going to do anything, and we're going to even leave at this time because the next day was Sunday.
This was a party that we weren't supposed to go to. We were just starting out in the church, so we didn't know any better. But we said, look, let's go, let's see what could happen from here. And funny enough, we saw Ayo. So when we told Ayo that we were going to be leaving early to go to church, he couldn't believe it.
And for me, that's very weird because these are people that were worse than me. I went to party islands with them. I used to go clubbing with them. We all used to do a lot of things together. And when they said no, I said, you know what, there must be something different because they never say no. In fact, they used to encourage me to drink.
The life we used to live back then, we would be the last ones at the party. We would be out with girls, smoking, drinking. So when we came, it was different. We looked different. And I think that, of course, surprised Ayo. And he was very, very keen to know how we made that change, how we became so different.
He said they just came in for a little while, and then they said, we've got church tomorrow. So they left. And as they were leaving, I rushed out to go and meet them because I said, this is very odd. And I asked them, what's happened with you guys? And they said, Ayo, we've changed. We now go to the universal church. We don't want to live this sort of lifestyle anymore.
And I remember he was looking at us as if he had seen angels. I remember he even said to me, Akil, if you're going to church and you can change it, if you're going to church, then I need to go to that place because you're the worst. There's no way. And I remember we even went outside and then we began to even speak to us, look, Ayo, this church it's like no other. It's really helping me. You know, I've let go of the smoking, the girls, the lifestyle, the crime, the guy they feel it. I've let go of all of these things. And he said, wow.
In that moment, me and Pastor Keen at that time, we told him the truth. We told him how our lives changed, and we made a change to start the church, start our journeys in church. We didn't have the Holy Spirit at that time, but we had a newfound knowledge to know that the lives that we were living before wasn't the right way. And of course, that was the moment that Ayo made his decision to come with us.
And I said, you know what? If you guys can change, there's hope for me because I couldn't bear to be in the same cycle. So I said, please invite me, take me with you. Please help me to change. And they said, you know what? I'm going to invite you to an event. And that was my first time coming to the Universal Church. Yeah, it wasn't easy for me to change, to be honest with you. I could see that God was fighting for my soul, but the devil was also trying to use people that I used to often go clubbing with to bring me back. So I would hear the word of God on a Wednesday, and going back home, they will call me whilst in the service to go to the next outing. A girl will call me, Ayo, you're gonna meet me today. These things would happen consistently, and the devil was trying to take my soul. But I knew this place was for me. The words that was said in my first time even coming to the church, it was as if God was using the man of God to speak to me directly. And I could say, you know what, from that day, my life was going to change. But the battle was tough. I had to cut things off. I had to cut friends off, friends that were bad for me, those who were bringing me to the drugs, those who were bringing girls around. I had to really cut things off and make a decision. It took a long while because I had my own desires. But then after coming to the church, learning about faith, praying, doing the things I had to do, because when I was hearing the word of God, there had to be an action after it. I started to cut off the women. I deleted contacts. I threw the weed away. It was very hard for me to throw weed away. I remember having a good amount of weed. I had to flush it down the toilet. I had to delete the weed dealers' numbers. The campaign of Israel came. I understood that I had to really sacrifice. I was doing things with my own strength. I was abstaining from sin, but I knew myself that it would be a matter of time and I'll go back. As I was keeping going in the faith, I then was able to receive the Holy Spirit. I could see a change in my attitude, the way I spoke to people, my temperament, someone that was very angry, which led me to getting stabbed. I could see that I was very calm. I made better decisions. God provided for me in every single area. I was happy. Eventually, it was getting to that point that I needed a helper, and God saw that. He saw that need. And that's when I met my beautiful wife, Naomi. It's God's gift. So I had to sacrifice on the altar for my love life. I could see this as something that I wanted to see in my life. And of course, God gave me my gift here. But it wasn't just something easy. It's just something I had to fight for. I had to surrender my will, surrender whatever God was asking. I put it on the altar. Now I have a blessed love life. We've been married now for 8 months. And we attend the love therapy. We're learning to love intelligently. And now we just want to give to others the same thing God has given to us.
So for me, I met my husband already a transformed man. I didn't know anything about his past. We met via a mutual friend. I was in the Netherlands. I also attended love therapy there, and I did my part, sacrificing for my love life. And when we started speaking, I saw, okay, this is a man of God that can also help me, but I am also able to help him. And I was already a transformed person as well, because I had past relationships that were not well, but through the love therapy and through the church, I learned how to actually have a good relationship, a relationship built upon God. And as we both sacrificed on the altar, our marriage was also put on the altar. Now we are serving God together, and we just want to bring to others what we've received as well. It's been a blessing. This is what we can ask of God, and we want Him to be able to use us more and more.
Exactly, and we're living the best life. And guys, you can have this life too. You simply need to sacrifice, put your all on the altar. The altar never fails.
This is the Love Talk Show on Liberty Radio.
Well, in the Ayu story, whose life was transformed for good, did not happen just because one day he woke up in a very good mood, or he had a very lucky day and things start changing automatically. No, in order for things to happen in the same way that love is not enough and demands connection, we understand that in order for Ayu's life to be what is today and for things to progress the way they are progressing today, something was done. Ayu had to do something for his life to be better as today is. Because when he starts following his father's steps, when he starts committing the same mistakes, when he see that his life is not progressing, when he see that he's just living one day after the other, and let's see what is the end of it. And obviously with it, the problems and the anguish, the frustration is just growing within a person, and things are not moving. And who knows if this is not what is happening with you? Who knows if you don't have in your family or in your circle of friends people who are living like this, and they are desperate. They are afflicted because they are looking for happiness. They are looking for a way to be happy. And then they go to this party here, they go to that club over there. If they know there's a good party here or there, they are in all these parties, and sometimes drinking, sometimes smoking, sometimes doing things that are not being good even for themselves, and they don't want to do. Is just a way for them to try to find the happiness that they don't have it. They don't have it. Ayu understood that the actions that he was taking were not enough to transform his life. One day he understood what the right action was. And this is what I think this is what we can learn with Ayu. How many actions, how many decisions, how many doors you were knocking at, how many things have you already done? You are listening to us, driving your car, you are there in your house, you are, maybe at this moment you are completely alone. You are looking to yourself and you are saying, but what have I done? What have I done with my life? What have I done with my relationship, with my marriage? What am I doing? What kind of decisions am I taking? You look at yourself and sometimes you don't recognize even yourself. You don't believe that you were the one doing those things, saying those things, taking those decisions, as one day happened with Ayu. And we want to tell everyone, Andrea, that no matter what this person has done or what they are going through, no matter how comparisons sometimes were coming, weaknesses are coming up and taking control of a people's decisions or a people's a way of living. Sometimes a person he has a good heart, desires to succeed, but just desiring it's not enough. It's important for a person to understand that being a good person, even today I was talking with someone who was telling me this, but I am a good person, I have these principles and my family has these principles, and you see, we don't harm anyone, we don't want bad things to anyone, we don't want people to suffer, but we end up, when things are coming, when opportunities are coming, when things, it seems they are going to progress, we are at the end of the line and nothing comes to our hand and we never have anything. And it's not a matter of being a good person or having a good intention. It's a matter of taking the right step. And Thursdays we have the love therapy that is giving people the opportunity to take a different step, and in our opinion, a better step that will help them to change the situation they are living in.
I can only imagine if Ayu, with everything that he went through, I believe he had other relationships, different relationships, but imagine that he didn't accept, or he wouldn't accept to work on himself first. For sure, many other failed relationship would follow. And that's why we are here every Thursday at 8 p.m. in Finsbury Park. It's our headquarters, Rainbow Theatre, 232 Seven Sisters Road, London, N4 3NX. You can find us here, myself, Andrea, Peter, my husband, our colleagues, people that are ready to advise you and to walk you through the same way that I was helped when he accepted, when he said, no, I want to change and I want to improve my life and I want to even transform my life. That's what we believe in. So you are more than welcome to come and join us. If you want to give us a call, we do have a 24/7 helpline that is 020-7686-6000. So you can give us a call. Someone will be there on the other side of the line to talk to you.
Well, it's all in your hands. We are here available. The UCKG Help Center has its doors open. For more information, you can go online to uckg.org, and you don't need to pay anything to talk to us, for us to give you any kind of advice, for you to receive the prayers that we are offering people, for you to take part of the love therapy seminar. You don't need to pay anything. You have everything in your hands. The power is in your hands for things start to going in the right direction. Well, may God bless you all. The Love Talk Show returns tomorrow at 10 p.m. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
What stood out to you the most from tonight's seminar?
I would say what Bishop was saying about sometimes we're really quick to look at other people and to see their faults and their mistakes, but we forget about ourselves. It's like we're blind to who we really are, and that we need to be self-aware, because if we're not self-aware, we're going to end up creating problems or causing problems for ourselves in the future that we could have, overcome by understanding, okay, I'm like this or I'm like that. Let me change, let me work on it and be better.
Would you say that that's something that a lot of people do, or is it difficult? And if it is difficult, why would you say that is?
I think it's difficult for anyone to kind of look at themselves and say, I'm wrong. I don't think anyone likes to be wrong or to kind of say, oh, I'm doing this in the wrong way. But it's necessary. Like, we need to do it. Otherwise, how will we get better?
And what would you say is something that you've seen in yourself? You don't have to be, detailed, but something that you've seen in yourself that's like, okay, I need to work on this.
I would say that it's actually been something that I've been working on. Even just this message today kind of gave me an encouragement to just keep on going, to be more aware of, the way that I speak sometimes, the way that I address certain situations, because sometimes we think, okay, because I'm saying the truth, it's, it's nothing bad, but sometimes we also have to think about the way that we say it as well. So it's something that I'm working on, something that I've been working on, getting better, and hope to get better as well.
You said that very freely. Would you say that the love therapy has helped you to be able to confidently say, something not so positive about yourself, but not in a like putting yourself down type of thing? Is this something that you learn at the love therapy in terms of how to deal with things, but not to put yourself down?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I started coming back to the love therapy, I came initially with a problem that I was fighting for, but the more that I came, the more that I learned that the better that I become, the better my life is going to be. So me looking at myself and working on the bad things about me and making them better, it's just made my life better overall. So it's definitely perfect. It's good.
And what would you say to someone that is watching this interview right now and they're like, oh, sounds good, but I'm not too sure about coming?
I would say come, because everything that you're going to hear is going to add to every area of your life, whether it's your love life, whether it's your family, whatever area of your life. And especially if you're someone who maybe you're not in a relationship, or you're in a relationship and you don't know what to do, don't despise the love therapy, because it can really change your life.
Want to experience the love therapy for yourself? Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. at 232 Seven Sisters Road, Finsbury Park. You'll be inspired.
My heart is filled with songs of praise. You gave me hope, you made a way. corazón. Lord, I give you my whole heart, mi corazón. Amazing grace has rescued me. You paid the price, you set me free. I will sing your praises forever, my Savior and King. My soul sings, my spirit shouts, with every breath I'm crying out, I want to live for you alone. You have captured my heart, mi corazón. Lord, I give you my whole heart, mi corazón. Story how you rescued me. I'm the guilty one, but you sacrificed your son, your one and only. Now I stand before you, blameless and holy. My heart, my soul sings, my spirit shouts, with every breath I'm crying out, I want to live for you alone. You have captured my heart, mi corazón. Lord, I give you my whole heart, mi corazón.
You are in the midst of a struggle, all by yourself. You feel lost with no one to speak to. You smile on the outside, but inside, you're crying out for help. You see people around you, yet deep down, you feel completely alone. But you don't have to face this battle by yourself. Whenever things get tough, whenever the weight feels too heavy to carry, when the silence is deafening, know that someone is here for you. The Universal Church 24-hour helpline is open every day, every night, whenever you need. On the other side of the line, there is always a caring voice ready to listen. No judgment, no criticism, just understanding, comfort and support. Don't give up. Don't keep it all inside. If you ever feel like there's nowhere to turn, remember, you can always call us. Call 020 7686 6000 at any time of the day or night. Or, if you prefer, send us a WhatsApp message on 020 7686 6010. The Universal Church, here for you 24 hours a day.
That's a wrap on today's Love Talk Show, where every conversation brings you closer to intelligent love. We'll be back soon with more love, more truth, and more talk. Until next time, keep practicing intelligent love.